What's going on, everybody? I know I announced. Well, one, I know I usually go on at 7, but I had made a post on YouTube saying I will be going live at 8. It's actually 7:30. I got home a little earlier than I thought. Man, all these doctor's appointments with my baby on the way, it's crazy. My baby is absolutely huge. Talk about this. I'm giving birth. My wife, my girl's giving birth to a Hall of Famer. This dude is huge. We still got 1 month to go, and he's already 7 pounds 9 ounces. Shit is crazy to me, man. I'm getting I might make my own heavyweight champion. But yeah, that's the reason why, I've been so sporadic with the times I go on live, switching days I'm going live, putting out less content. Obviously, family first. I got to take care of that. My girl's pregnant. Anything she needs me there for support, and taking her there, taking her back, and taking off her shoes, little things like that, that I've been doing for her. But yeah, a lot going on in boxing. I always say that I'm gonna make a shirt and sell that. A lot going on in boxing, but this time is like really a lot is going on in boxing. I'll wait a little bit till more people hop on before I talk about it, go too deep in depth. But that Showtime schedule, I really like the Showtime schedule. I'll be honest with you. It was a very, very solid schedule. All things being considered, I don't like that. I don't like the David Lemieux, David Benavidez fight. I don't like that fight. And I don't like the Jermall Charlo Selecki fight. But when you look at the circumstance in the David Benavidez fight, he could fight Plant, but Plant's coming off a knockout loss. I don't think he wanted to go straight into that. Jermall Charlo doesn't seem like he's willing to move up to 168 unless it's Canelo. And who else? What other? It's like it's just a lot. So David Benavidez, his fight is more out of circumstance. Plus, it's for an interim belt. So if and when Canelo vacates, he'll have they'll be ranked in the number 1 mandatory position. So they'll be either they'll get elevated to be champion, or he'll have to fight somebody, a mandatory or something, to become officially champion. I don't know, but point is, I can see that. I don't like the Selecki fight, Selecki versus Jermall Charlo. I understand the situation with Jaime Munguia and the fights fell out, but I felt like he could have fought Erislandy Lara. He could have fought a Carlos Adames. He could have fought just honestly, just those 2 options right there is much better than Selecki. Who the fuck is Selecki? Who has Selecki beat to be like, oh man, this guy's gonna give Jermall Charlo trouble? And you got to understand, like, Jermall Charlo is probably the number 1 ranked middleweight. Like, let me check Ring Magazine rankings, because the Ring Magazine is usually the rankings I go by the way. I know maybe some of the people who run the top the business over there. Oh damn, they have Gennady Golovkin ranked number 1 middleweight. I mean, he does have a belt and he's fighting for a unification. I don't know if I agree with that. But they have Jermall Charlo number 2. Point is, they have him number 2. So the number 2 middleweight is fighting an unranked opponent in Selecki. I never heard of this guy. I mean, obviously I heard him. He fought Daniel Jacobs, and I've seen him fight before. But like, I don't like that fight. Charlo is trash. Charlo fight is trash. Absolutely, Polo. Shout out to Polo, my guy. Shout out to you for hopping on. Jermall Charlo fighting a nobody once again. He's just waiting for a Canelo payday. Benavidez is at least trying to make other big fights happen. I mean, I agree with you. I don't like the fight. Listen, he was, to be fair to Jermall Charlo, he was trying to make that fight with Jaime Munguia. He was. And from everything considered, Jaime Munguia looked like he was willing to take the fight, but Oscar De La Hoya wants to make this a joint pay-per-view with DAZN. And it's like, what? Showtime was not even going to put that fight on DAZN. I mean, on pay-per-view. And now you want it to be a joint pay-per-view, knowing that shit's never going to happen. Look at the fights that have been joint pay-per-views. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. So the only time networks work with each other is when there's a massive fight. Whenever there's a massive fight with this big money to go around, they'll work with another company. That fight against Jaime Munguia versus Jermall Charlo, although us fans, especially us knowledgeable fans, we know that's a good fight. We know that's a competitive fight. That's a big fight in terms of what it would mean for the middleweight division. But that's not even a big fight, let alone a mega fight. That fight's not even a pay-per-view fight. I don't understand where Oscar thinks that inserting the zone to make this a joint pay-per-view is a good thing. You're hindering Jaime Munguia's career. Jaime Munguia needs to step away from Golden Boy. I said it. He needs to move away. And also, but Munguia is not off the hook. At some point, you got to go up to your promoter and be like, yo, this is the fucking fight I want. You need to go on social media and say, yo, this is the fucking fight I want. So Munguia is not off the hook. Munguia, I've called him the biggest duck in boxing. That I'm on record saying that. And I feel strongly about that. I have a matter of fact, I have a duck toy that I hold up every time I talk about Munguia. Let me find that shit. Don't leave this stream because y'all gonna see this duck. Y'all gonna see this toy duck that Jaime Munguia represents. Right here. This is Jaime Munguia to me. This right here is Jaime Munguia because he got skipped 3 times in the WBO to fight Andrade, where he could have fought for a title. He was the mandatory and he allowed 3 people to skip him. So not only did you duck Andrade, at no point were you in a rush to fight Charlo. And now that the fight against Charlo was set, you're not fighting against your promoter. You're not arguing against your promoter. You're not taking to social media and showing that it's not you hindering it, because it's your side that's hindering the fight from happening. That's what it is. It's not necessarily Munguia. I don't think Munguia necessarily right now is ducking Charlo, although he did duck Andrade, and that's why I call him the biggest duck in boxing. But point is, at some point, you have to know it's your legacy, and you have to step up and argue for your side. But that's not what he's doing. It's not what he's doing. Let me see. Triple G has the best resume. I'm not even gonna address that. Didn't Fox and Showtime do a joint pay-per-view for Fury Wilder? No, I believe it was Fox and ESPN. I don't think it was Fox and Showtime. But point is, that was a massive fight, though. That's a lineal heavyweight championship fight, and a guy who's one of the hardest punchers of all time, a guy who's probably the biggest heavyweight champion of all time, and it was for the WBC belt, probably the most coveted belt in all of boxing. It's heavyweight boxing. We have to understand that that's different type of ball game. It's different type of money. Once you get to those big guys, that's when that money starts rolling in, especially if you're a good talker, especially if you're a good trash talker. You know what I'm saying? Triple G wanted to fight. Munguia wanted to fight Triple G at 21 years old, bro. Give him his credit. He wasn't afraid of a prime Triple G. I don't know. I could say I want to fight Deontay Wilder right now, but until you step in the ring and prove it to me, everybody talks shit about Jermall Charlo's resume at 160, which I'm not gonna defend. But is Munguia's resume at 160 any better? Who has he beat at 160? Let's do this. Let's do this. How about that? Let's pull it up. Let's pull up his resume. His resume against Charlo's resume at 160, not at 154, not as a career, at 160. And we're going to start off with Jaime Munguia. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up. Boom. All right. All right. Now I'm a screen share. All right. So he fought Gary O'Sullivan, who he stopped, right? Then he fought Turiano Johnson, who he stopped as well. That fight was a war. And honestly, I don't know who would have won that fight. But he cut Turiano Johnson's lip. And then they had to stop the fight because of that. But that was a good fight. Then he stopped Camille Serres-Meta, Gabe Rosado, and Demetrius Ballard. None of the guys I've mentioned, I don't even think have fought for a title, let alone been a champion themselves. So that's a pretty weak resume at 160. I'm just being honest. Very weak. Let's go to Jermall Charlo. And by the way, I don't know who has a weaker resume at 160. I just know they both haven't been let. So Charlo has fought Jorge Sebastian's Highland, Hugo Centeno. He stopped both of those guys, by the way. Matvey Korobov, Brandon Adams, Dennis Hogan, Sergey Derevyanchenko, Juan Macias Montiel, and now he has scheduled Selecki. Both are pretty weak, to be honest with you. But if we're being honest, I want to say Charlo has a better resume at 160 than Jaime Munguia. And I would favor Jermall Charlo in that fight. You get what I'm saying? You saying, hold on. Rosado fought for a title a few times though. I don't remember that. Maybe you're right. I don't remember that. But either way, he was never a champion. Neither has fought a former world champion at 160. Neither. So you can't tell me, oh, give him credit. He wanted to fight Triple G at one point. Man, I'm not giving him credit for fucking wanting to fight somebody and the fight never happened. No, absolutely not. I'm not giving him credit for that. And I'm looking right now. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at Rosado's resume. He fought Gennady Golovkin for a title. And I was there at that fight. He got fucking destroyed, man. He got beat the shit. I was there live in Madison Square Garden, and I ran into him in the bathroom, actually. I ran into Gabe Rosado in the bathroom. His face looked like a fucking tomato. He got his shit beat the fuck up in that Triple G fight. He got done. That was easy work for Triple G. So you saying like, oh, he fought for a title, and then that one title shot that I was actually there live for, I seen him get the shit beat out of him, ran into the bathroom to the point where I wasn't sure if this dude's head was going to explode because of how swollen it was. Come on, man. He fought for one title and got knocked out, got beat the fuck up to the point where his trainer was looking at his father. I remember watching the replay. His trainer was looking at his father. Your son's going to die. Stop the fight. And then he had to throw the towel in. That's the guy you telling me? Oh, shit. Jaime Munguia just went to a decision with that guy, the guy who Triple G beat the fuck out of fucking 9 years ago. Come on, man. Nah, come on, man. Yeah, I listen. Neither has Sergey never won a belt before. I agree. He's never won a belt. I agree. But at the same time, they're both weak resumes. If you've been on my channel before, you know I at one point I was calling Charlo the biggest duck in boxing until I saw Jaime Munguia let fucking William Williams and what's the other cat name? There's one other cat Janabek that just skipped him in line again. That's when I was like, oh, no. Jaime Munguia is the biggest duck in boxing. But they both resume at 160 is shit. And to be honest, Munguia, it's more disrespectful to the sport because Munguia was in a mandatory position and showed he didn't want the glory. He didn't want to win. He didn't want to challenge himself when he didn't take those fight against Andrade. And then now you have a fight lined up against Charlo, and you never stepped up to take to social media and speak for yourself. You never stepped to Oscar De La Hoya to tell him, hey, listen, this is the fucking fight I want. I don't know, man. I don't like it at all, bro. I don't like it at all. And I'm not necessarily blaming Munguia for the fight not happening. I'm blaming him for not stepping up to speaking up for himself. And when I say that, I mean on social media, not explaining that he wants to fight or explaining, at least clarify what's going on. And two, for him not going to Oscar De La Hoya and telling him, yo, my man, I want that fight. That's a fight I want. Make it happen. I don't give a fuck if you trying to secure a deal with the Zone. Put me over there. I want to fight for a belt. I want to fight for the WBC championship belt. Oh, where where the WBC championship, the WBC belt, where the commission is at, where their headquarters is at? It's in Mexico, your native country. So not only is there pride attached to that belt, it's also the most prestigious belt in boxing. It's the prettiest looking belt in boxing. And this is going to be for your highest payday, and you not taking it serious. You're not fighting for the glory. You're not even fighting for the money. Who's he going to fight now? You tell me. Not going to fight Andre. Andre's moving up 168. Not going to fight Triple G. Triple G has a fight scheduled with Murata. Not going to fight Charlo, obviously. He denied the eliminator fight with Carlos Adames. So where the fuck is he going? Who's he going to fight next? At least Charlo has fights lined up. At least, I mean, the Selecki guy, I don't like the fight. Don't get me wrong. I do not like the fight at all. But at the same time, at least I heard of Selecki. I never heard of the last fight that the last fighter of that Munguia fought. I never heard of Demetrius Ballard. And then I see him, he gets knocked out in the third round. I'm like, all right, no wonder I never heard of him. So come on, man. I'm not a fan of Munguia and how he's going about his career, to be honest with you. I'm not. I really am. I really am not. Isn't Andrade going to vacate the WBO belt? So let me explain the Andrade situation with the WBO. Andrade is first Janibek, and I don't know who's the second contender. That Janibek is going to fight for the vacant interim WBO belt, and Andrew's moving up to fight for the WBO interim super middleweight division, middleweight division championship. So he's going to be interim champion at 168 and champion at 160, while Janibek is going to fight for the vacant belt against, I forget the guy's name, for the interim belt. So after, let's say Demetrius Andrade beats Zach Parker. After he beats Zach Parker, I believe he has 30 to 60 days. I want to say it's 30 days, but I'm not 100% sure. So 30 to 60 days to decide whether he's going to stay at 168 and try to position himself to be mandatory for the WBO 68 belt, which is held by Canelo, or if he's going to vacate that WBO 168 interim and move back down and defend it against either Janibek or whoever holds the interim title. That's the Andrade situation with the WBO right now. So WBO is actually being kind of flexible. What's up, Joel? Did you watch the Mickey Conlan fight this past weekend? I did, man. I did. And what a fucking fantastic fight. That is not only in the running for fight of the year, it's also in the running for knockout of the year. Lee Wood, I'm a fan now. I need Lee Wood on my channel, put it like that. Lee Wood, I need a Lee Wood interview. That man has the clutch gene. First of all, a lot of people don't know. In his last fight, he got a 12th round KO. This man has the clutch gene. And then in the press conference, was talking shit to, what's his name, Mick Conlan, and told him, listen, if I don't knock you out and by the 12th round you're still up, guess what? I'm going to knock you out. And then he did it. That is clutch. That's called performing in moments. That's called having a clutch button. When you need a knockout, I'm getting it. And so that was a fantastic fight. Living in the moment to the point where he knocks him out cold, out the ring, where he falls into the lap of his daddy. Man, what a fantastic knockout. What a fantastic fight. What a fantastic story to the fight. That fight should be made into a movie. That fight, they should sell that fight as an NFT. That shit was fire, man. I love that fight. It was fantastic. I wish I was there live to see it. I'm pretty sure that the environment, the energy in the crowd after seeing such a savage knockout, seeing how slowly Conlan was fading, seeing how slowly Lee Wood was coming on and getting stronger and stronger, and then positioning himself to get a savage one-punch knockout. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You know what that fight reminded me of? It reminded me of that Olympic fight. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember. I interviewed Herbert in the Olympics. He was Herbert Salsa, but when I interviewed, he said he wants to be known as Herbert Conceição. So Herbert Conceição, he fought Alexander Kizniak. Herbert Conceição, he's from Brazil, and Alexander Kizniak is from the Ukraine. It was, Olympics is 3 rounds. He clearly lost the first 2 rounds. Conceição did, and then the third round was losing that round too, and then caught up this guy with a 1-2 and knocked him out and stopped the fight, and the referee stopped the fight. It reminded me of that, like that clutch gene, and that's something that can't be touched. But let me show you guys let me show you guys the where Lee Wood says to Mick Conlan, "Hey, I would knock you out if you still standing in the 12th round." I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna see that if I could find it. Yeah, I found it right here. Hold on one second. Boom. All right, look at this and tell me this isn't like a movie right here.
If I knocked you out by
You have
round
one
12,
plan.
if you're look,
Hold on.
What happens when you don't knock me out?
if I knocked you out by
You have
round
one
12,
plan,
if you're looking at
and
me
to
in
knock
round
me out,
12,
you can't
if you're
knock me
looking
out.
at me in round 12 and I haven't knocked you out, guess what? I'm gonna knock you out.
Hold on, let me replay that.
Looking at me in round 12 and I haven't knocked you out, guess what? I'm gonna knock you out.
Woo! Performed in moments, man. That was fantastic to me, man. When you telling a dude, listen, I'm gonna knock you out, and if you even get to the 12th round and you not knocked out, guess what? I'm gonna knock you out, and then you go out and do it. Man, I want to read his book. When he writes his autobiography, I want to read that shit. That part of the book is gonna get me hype. That part of the book is gonna get me running around the block because the energy is gonna give me. That's what a man does. A man tells you what he's gonna do and then does it. I'm a fan of Lee Wood. Do I think he beats Mauricio Lara, Emmanuel Navarrete? No, I'll be honest with you. But just because I don't think he beats him don't mean I can't be a fan, man. Lee Wood, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Let me see. That shit hurt me, dog. I had my Irish Mickey Conlan shirt on. Damn. They both though no I guess you meant they both got no defense. Damn, I know you was Irish. I'm sure that shit hurt, man. I can't imagine if that was my fighter, I would have been hurt. Oh, damn, I'm being disrespectful to y'all. I don't even got the link pinned to the top of the chat. I'm being disrespectful. Hold on. Yeah, I got so turned up because I'm thinking about the Munguia thing, the boxing schedule. So I got a little amped up. But anybody who wants to call in, especially you, Michael, if you want to vent about your Irish fighter losing, listen, this is a safe space. I won't make fun of you. This is a safe space. You can cry on here. Don't worry about it. Anybody who wants to call in and whether you agree or disagree, I saw Polo in here disagreeing with me heavy about Munguia. You could call in. And same thing with you, Mike. If you want to call in and vent your sadness, just click that link at the top of the chat. It'll take you to a website, and then we can have a conversation. But anyways, let's get into the Showtime schedule in case. Wow, I'll give you guys time if somebody wants to call in. Oh, hold on, we got a caller right now. All right, what up, my brother?
What up, son? You can hear me?
I can hear you good. What's up, man?
Nah, I'm chilling, man.
Are you the one that had your Mickey Conlan shirt on?
Yeah, bro. That was me.
Damn, man. That was a bad loss, man. What'd you think of when you saw that fight?
Yo, I knew he was done, yo. Like, what he knocked him down twice in like the first round and the second round, and he was holding on in the third round. You had this dude hurt, you knocked him down, and you're fucking holding on to him in the third round. Like, come on, your cardio was not right, yo.
Yeah, no, I felt like he did well in the first like 4 or 5 rounds, and then little by little after that, he just started fading. And honestly, had he survived the last round, I would have gave him the fight. On the scorecards, it would have been a draw if he would have lost it.
Wasn't it the 11th? He got knocked
that
out
was
in
the
the
last
11th.
round.
You sure about that?
I'm 100%.
He was going to lose anyhow, though, because the scorecard had him had Conlon up by 1 point. So he would have had a 10-8 round right there. He would have lost anyhow on the scorecard if he got up.
Yeah, no, but he was out cold, man. That was knockout of the year. And again, so far right now, is definitely in the running for fight of the year. I can't even think what is fight of the year besides that one. As of right now, we're only in March, so.
It's early. But that's UK fight, so
yeah.
It ain't gonna be a fight of the year.
All right, Matt. Anything else you want to talk about before I let you go, my brother? Anything you want to
I'm
have an
good.
opinion about Jaime Munguia, Charlo falling apart?
Yo, why did Charlo pick Sulecki, right, when he could have picked so many other fucking people?
I don't know, bro. He could have fought Lara. He could have fought Carlos Adames.
Andrade. He would never fight Andrade, though.
Well, the thing is with Andrade that I don't know what's going on over there, but they got a whole type.
Well, actually, wait. Andrade got a fight sign. He couldn't even fight him. He's already fighting somebody, right?
He's fighting Zach Park at 168.
Yeah, another fucking dude we don't know.
Yeah, these UK guys, man. He's fighting with Matchroom. He go.
Yep.
He look. All his fight has been from the UK. For Liam Williams.
Yep.
For Jason Quigley.
And I fuck with him, man.
Zach Parker.
I like Andrade, man. I always did.
I just got to see him fight better people before I could say I like him. I got to see him fight better.
His last fucking good opponent was Vance Monterosa, right? When he got knocked down and he came back on. How many years ago was that fucking fight, bro?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But boxing politics has hurt Andrade and Devin Haney the most specifically Andrade, though. Andrade has suffered more because of boxing politics more than
Haney's still young. I can't say
that's
boxing
what I'm saying.
politics yet. And he might get he's going to get that fight, I think, with this dude, the Australian guy. Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah, we'll see. But yo, my brother, I appreciate you calling in. You my guy. You're welcome to call in every time.
When's the baby due, yo?
Next month.
God bless you, brother. Good luck.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man.
Fucking Viva fucking Belanga this weekend, all right?
I'm actually gonna be at the fight, so you gonna be
there? I thought about going, yo, but I'm busy that day.
Buy some tickets, bro. Support our New Yorkers, man. Support our New Yorkers. Xander Zayas on the undercard. John Bowser's on the undercard. They got a decent undercard, man. Support our.
You know how it is in boxing, yo. You got a good Puerto Rican fighter, yo. That's good for boxing.
Yeah, man. Let's go support. Let's go buy tickets. I'm going with my brother. So if you do pull up, just let me know.
All right, bet.
All right, my brother.
All right, son. Later.
Shout out to my man Mike for calling in, showing love. Yeah, man. I'm big on going to fights. I know Polo is in the chat. He going to all the Minnesota fights. I try to go to as much New York fights as possible. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't go to every single one, but I went to the Lomachenko fight. I went to the TO fight. If Beterbiev versus Joe Smith is actually, hold on, I'll get you guys the date. It's actually going to be in the Little Room in Madison Square Garden. I seen it. Hold on 1 second. It's like June, I think 18th, somewhere around there. It's like 18th, 19th, or something like that. Let me get the exact date for you guys. That way, if I have any followers from New York that really wanted to go to that fight specifically, you guys can you have all the time in the world. All right, so June 18th at the Little Room in Madison Square Garden, they're going to fight Joe Smith versus Artur Beterbiev. It's definitely candidate. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely candidate fight of the year and knockout of the year for sure. Right now, I have it winning as fight of the year and knockout of the year. I can't think of another fight to compete. Again, we're in March. There could be a fight this Saturday. The Berlanga fight could maybe outdo that in both those categories. Who knows? We're still early. I'm not saying it's gonna win, but as of right now, Lee Wood versus Mike Conlon is definitely number one right now in both those categories in my book. Andrade move up, and if he wins, will relinquish 160 belt. Well, he has a decision to make. But yeah, I don't see him going back down. Once you move up in weight, you realize that those 8 extra pounds of cutting are good for your body. You feel stronger. Also, this increases your chances a little bit to get a Canelo fight, which I doubt he ever gets. You know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. What's up, Joel? Yeah, what up, my man? Carlos Montes, my brother. Shout out to you. Always showing love. Always active in the chat. Calling in every now and then. Shout out to you. One of my mans. Hold on one second. Are we really sleeping on Selecki like he's not the greatest fighter of this generation? Big Charlo taking risk. If you guys don't know, this is my boy Freddie from Box Talk 101. He's just being very sarcastic. Please don't jump on him in the chat. He's being sarcastic. He knows that Selecki fight is definitely not the fight we wanted. I'll just say that. It's not the fight we wanted. And obviously, we wanted the Munguia fight. We wanted the Andre fight. Those didn't happen because of political reasons. Okay, that's fine. Adames is on your side. He's on the PBC side. Now, is Adames a killer? No. And I'm Dominican. I'm never going to... y'all never see me come in here. My pound-for-pound ratings is full of Dominicans. Listen, I'm honest. Carlos Adames is not fucking with Charlo. But it's a competitive fight because, you know, he's ranked number 2 in the WBC. He just beat Derevyanchenko, so you guys have a common opponent. That could have been a good fight. And even if you want to say, yeah, but that fight would have been too uncompetitive. If that's your opinion, I think it's a little bit more competitive than people would give it credit for. But let's just say you're on the side that fight's not competitive at all. Okay. If that fight's not competitive at all, why not fight Erislandy Lara? Now, I don't give a fuck how old Erislandy Lara is, because I know some people are going to be like, oh, he's 38, 39, blah, blah, blah. That's a competitive fight. Why not go with that for that smoke? That's a common opponent with Canelo. Canelo, the guy you want to fight, the guy you avoiding fighting people to get the payday. Why don't you knock out Erislandy Lara, who some people feel beat Canelo, not me. Knock that guy out and then go to Canelo. Yo, the guy that gave you problems, the guy that people thought that beat you, I knocked him out. He out cold. I sent him to the hospital, even if you didn't send him to the hospital. You just say that. Just say that just to get him under his skin. I sent him to the hospital. That was easy work. And you struggle with that man. So come fight me. But no, you fighting Selecki. You think you fighting Selecki is bringing you any closer to a Canelo fight? Like, is that your mindset? Yo, I swear, man. I swear, these dudes be bugging, man. I don't understand. Like, I don't know why your advisors ain't for all you. Please, not Selecki. We don't want that fight. The fans, you see, this is where, like, I understand it's a business, but it's also, you got to remember the fans, man. And the promoters have to take that into considerations. The fighters, as long as they're being financially compensated, and by the way, he would be financially compensated well if he fought Lara. As long as you're financially compensated well, you should think about the fans. Now, if taking a fight with this guy, because the fans want you to fight this guy, but that's a fight you're going to be making $3 million less. All right, all right, fuck the fans, get the $3 million. But at the same time, there has to be a balance between you playing it safe and keeping the fans entertained. That's a horrible fight. Horrible fight. As Canelo would say, horrible fighter. Horrible fighter. I'm not calling Charlo a horrible fighter. I just wanted to say a funny accent. I just want to do a funny accent just to try it. But nah, my man. Nah. I think he should have fought Lara, man. Yeah, I think he should have fought Lara. Or if you ain't want to take that big of a step up, Carlos Adames. For real, man. For real. Even the younger Charlo brother takes better challenges than his bigger brother. Embarrassing for Jermall. Yeah, and I don't understand it, bro. I really don't. I don't understand it. Shit is crazy. Lara, high risk, low reward for the suits in charge. Yeah, but they on the PBC side. So meaning if the same way you're taking care of Charlo as an asset, you have to take care of Lara as an asset. Yo, if you telling me Charlo, who's 31 years old, can't beat a 39-year-old in Erickson Lara. When was the fuck the last time Erickson Lara fought? Hold on, let's look that up. Give me 1 second. We're gonna have to look that up because he's coming off a long layoff as well. Hold on 1 second. So, oh no, his last fight was last year in May, meaning you would eventually when y'all fought, it would be him coming off a 1 year layoff. And in his last fight, he got a first round knockout, meaning he didn't get work. How much rust can you get off in a first round knockout? So the fight before that, he fought in August of 2020. So this would be a nice long layoff against a guy who's currently 38 years old. And it's a tough fight where it's tough, but you should be able to beat a 38-year-old coming off a year layoff. And within that year layoff, the last time he fought was a first round knockout. Come on, man. I don't see that. That made no sense to me. Him choosing Selecki over my man Erickson Lara. That's the fight that should have been made. To be honest. But yeah, that split pay-per-view shit, that's what cost the fight. But at the same time, just because you were gonna get a good fight, don't mean you go, all right, I listen, fans, I tried. Now give me Selecki. Yo, and the double fucking standard, bro. The double standard is in fucking insane. So can you imagine if Canelo fought Selecki? How the internet would burn down. I think Twitter would fucking burn down if Canelo fought a Selecki. Shit is crazy, man. Bananas stupid. How the fuck Charlo gets away with fighting this guy, but if Canelo fights him, it's he's a ducker, he's this, he's that. You know, when Canelo was rumored to fight Macabo at cruiserweight, people were calling him a duck. Okay, why don't Charlo fight Macabo then? Oh no, he's too big. Why doesn't Benavidez? No, he's too big. He's too big for Benavidez. He's too big. So it's like, so when Canelo's gonna fight him, it's not he's too big. It's Canelo's being a duck. See, you guys move the goalpost because you guys don't like a certain fighter. You guys have to keep an eye on your bias. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm about to call me the bias doctor because I'm diagnosing some of y'all haters. Some of y'all Canelo haters. I don't know what he did to y'all. I don't know if maybe he DM'd your girl and you angry, but my man Canelo is being held to such a high standard. It's unfortunate. But then again, to be fair, he's number one pound for pound. And when you're there, that you always going to get criticized. People always want you to fight. Canelo's moving up in weight to fight a champion who's ranked number 2 in the light heavyweight division and is getting shit for it. That's the type of goalpost moving they do for Canelo. Shit is bullshit, man. It really is. Montiel has a similar style to Munguia. I don't know. I mean, you saying that because they both Mexican and aggressive? I don't know. Munguia, he needs to work on his defense. I'll just say that, man. And to be fair, he has been looking every fight a little bit better now that he's been working with Eric Morales, a Hall of Famer. I do think he just needs to work on rolling with punches, which is something that a lot of Mexican fighters used to do very well. But yeah, I like how Eric Morales has been moving Jaime Munguia. I really do. I think he has been improving. I don't agree with Munguia's opponent selection, as if you guys been watching the show for the last 40 minutes. But yeah, I do like how he's been progressing. He looked really good in his last fight against Ballard and eventually got a pretty entertaining knockout. But guys, if you guys want to call in, link is pinned to the top of the chat. You can click the link, it'll take you to a website and we can have a conversation. Sorry, I walked. You walked away for a second on purpose, then, because I was just diagnosing Canelo haters, man. Mr. Bias, I was saying. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to catch up to some of y'all comments, see what y'all talking about. I would have loved that Carlos Adames fight. He surprised me against the Russian cat. Oh, you talk about when he surprised you against Deverenchenko. Yeah, I agree. And it's a common opponent. And he's ranked number two in the WBC. And Charlo holds the WBC belt. And they're both on the PBC side. It was almost like a match made in heaven. Showtime really dropped the ball on that. They really, really did. They really, really did. And I wish somebody would ask him. Matter of fact, I have somebody's number. Let me see if I could contact. 1 second. I'm gonna try to see if I could get somebody on the show, just to show y'all my connections. I don't know if he's available, but let me text him, and if I could get him on, this shit would be real dope. Why? All right, I sent the text. Hopefully, I could get you guys some really exclusive content, some dope ass shit. But I don't want to put all my eggs in a basket, in case they're not available or they don't respond in time. Oscar Greedy ass messed that up. Messed that up. The fight had such a buzz. However, look how quick Charlo locked in the fight with Slucky. That fight was already in the works. Yeah, it probably was in the works just because they were probably like negotiating with Oscar and being like, all right, this fight, what they're telling us is basically the fight's not going to happen because what they want is not aligning with what we want. So they probably told Selecki, hey, if we made you a contract offer for this amount, right, at this location, would you take it? He said yes. All right, put that on hold. If we get the Munguia fight, we're being honest with you. This contract is no longer available. We're not going to go through with it because this is a bigger fight. But if it falls through, we're making an announcement on Tuesday of our schedule, which is when we have our deadline to be announced fights. If we don't get it, then boom, the fight happens. I think that's more what happened. And speaking of the schedule, let's talk about the schedule. Let's talk about that Showtime schedule. The Showtime just announced their schedule. I believe it was on Tuesday. And yeah, let's get into details. What you guys like, what you guys don't like. Let's go. So Showtime announces 9 PBC shows from March 26th to July 9th. Includes 7 title fights, which is interesting. 7 title. So this week, in 2 weeks from now, they have Tim Tszyu versus Terrell Gausha in the main event. Undercard, we have De Lo Mio, Michelle Rivera, undefeated 22-0 versus Joseph Adorno, who's also undefeated 14-0-2. And then also on the undercard is De Lo Mio, Elvis Rodriguez versus Juan. Elvis Rodriguez is 12-1-1 with 11 knockouts. And Juan Jose Velasco, who's 23-2 with 14 knockouts. The fight is contracted at 142, which I found interesting. I wonder if Elvis Rodriguez is having trouble making 140, but that's neither here nor there. And April 9th, we have, by the way, that card on March 26th, that's a solid fucking card, man. You have a guy with 1 loss and 1 draw fighting a guy with 2 losses. Then you have 2 undefeated fighters. And then you have a guy who's 20-0 fighting a guy who's 22-1. That's a great card, man. It's real competitive. And April 9th, we have this is a really good card right here. So we have in the main event, we got Erickson Lubin, who's 24-1 versus Sebastian Fundora, who's 18-0-1. I like that fight a lot. Tony Harrison from Detroit, as you guys know, he fought Charlo twice. He's 28-3-1 with 21 knockouts, and he's fighting Sergio Garcia, who's 33-1. And Sergio Garcia, I thought he beat Fundora in his last fight. I thought he got robbed, and I'm glad he's getting an opportunity on a major platform on an undercard where the main event are 2 254 pounders. one that he fought and the other one he didn't. I like that fight. I like both of those fights. And then on another fight on the undercard, there's two triple headers, by the way. This is Showtime giving you quality. It's Kevin Salgado, who's 14-0 with 9 knockouts from Mexico, and he's fighting Bryant Perella, who's 17-3-1. Hey man, solid card to me. Solid card to me. Oh, and then on the 16th of April, we got Errol Spence versus Yordanis Ugas. Butayev versus Stanionis. Those are two undefeated welterweights. I believe it's for the WBA regular title, and the winner is guaranteed a shot at the winner of Yordanis Ugas versus Errol Spence. We both know that if there's a chance of the Terrence Crawford fight happening, these guys are just taking step aside money. But that fight should be entertaining. It should be a war, to be honest with you. It should be maybe not a war. It should be an entertaining offensive fight. And I like it. And it's actually going to be on the regular Showtime. It's not going to be directly on the undercard. It's going to be on the Showtime channel where you can watch it for free. You don't have to buy the pay-per-view, which I found really interesting. There's also Brandon Lee, who's undefeated, 24-0 with 22 knockouts versus Zachary Ochoa, 21-2 with 7 knockouts from Brooklyn, New York. That's also going to be in a regular telecast. On the undercard, I believe, is Isaac Cruz versus Gamboa. You have Rayo Valenzuela, Jose Valenzuela versus Francisco Vargas. And I can't think of the other one, but point is that it's a good card. It pretty much, if this fight was in New York, I would be 1,000% sure at that fight. It's a great card. May 14th, we have Brian Castano versus Jermall Charlo for the undisputed 154 title. And then on the undercard, you got Boots Ennis, undefeated, 28-0 with 26 knockouts versus Castillo Clayton, who's 19-0-1 with 12 knockouts. That is probably my favorite card on the whole schedule. May 14th. I'm not working that day. I'm not doing nothing that day. I don't want nobody to bother me. I got an undisputed fight, and I got Jerome Boots Ennis fighting the IBF eliminated to be the mandatory for Errol Spence. I love this card. It's in Los Angeles for my people who live in LA and want to go to that fight. Then May 21st, we got David Benavidez versus David Lemieux. It's a bit of a mismatch, but I already spoke about the circumstance. And then on the undercard, you got Joelvis Gomez from Cuba fighting Jorge Cota. That's a good fight. Joelvis Gomez is only 5-0 with 5 knockouts from Cuba, and Jorge Cota is 30-5 with 27 knockouts from Mexico. So that should be a good fight. I have those two 154-pounders. And then Tank and Rolly fighting May 28th. There has been no rumors that I know of who's going to be on the undercard, but I do hope that Elvis Rodriguez and all my Dominicans are fighting on that undercard, because I definitely will be going to that fight at the Barclays Center. June 4th, we got Stephen Fulton versus Danny Roman, a fantastic fight. And what I like about this fight is Stephen Fulton is not only the WBC champion, he's also the WBO champion. And Daniel Roman is the mandatory for both belts. So meaning after Stephen Fulton, let's just say he beats Danny Roman, he's free to move however he wants. If he wants to do an undisputed fight with MJ Akhmadaliev, he's not going to have any mandatories weighing him down. If he wants to take an optional fight, if he wants to give Figueroa a rematch, or if Inouye moves up and he wants a title shot, he's going to have all the flexibility. So I love this fight. On the undercard, you have undefeated sensation David Morrell, the Cuban, 6-0 with 5 knockouts, and he's fighting Calvin Henderson. June 18th in Houston, we got Jermall Charlo versus Selecki. Crash fight. July 9th, Mark Maccio versus, this is in San Antonio, so shout out to little bro Michael Blunt, who lives in San Antonio. So this 24-0 Mark Maccio versus Ray Vargas, who's 35-0. So solid card. I give this card a A-, to be honest with you. I don't go A+ because I don't like that fight with Selecki and Charlo, and I also don't like the David Lemieux, David Benavidez fight. Those are the two fights I don't like on that card. But the reason they get an A- is because a lot of the cards I mentioned, the undercard is fire. Not only is the main event, or even if the main event is like, when you look at the undercard, you're like, oh shit. Like the fight, the 26, bro, Adorno versus Michelle Rivera, 2 undefeated fighters on the undercard for free on Showtime. As long as you have Showtime, you seeing that shit for free. That's a fire card. Then, bro, undisputed Jermall Charlo versus Castano. With on the undercard, you got Castillo Clayton undefeated facing Boots Ennis undefeated for the IBF eliminated for you to find out who's gonna be Errol Spence's mandatory. Damn, that's a fucking card, and it's for free on Showtime. Like the undercards on these free shows is crazy. And then when you go to the pay-per-view event, there was 2 pay-per-view events. There was the Gervonta Tank Davis one, which didn't announce an undercard, but Tank always has a good undercard. And then you got the Errol Spence fight. Yo, that undercards are solid. And on top of it, you're getting free fights. You're getting the Butiev fight, which is free on Showtime. Butiev versus Stanio is 2 undefeated fighters to find out who's going to be the mandatory for Errol Spence in the WBA. Well, currently right now is Jordanis Ugas. And then you got who else was on that undercard on the free show? Hold on, let me check for you guys. Then you have Brandon Lee versus Zachary Ochoa on the free Showtime. Fire shit, man. Fire shit. I'm loving this schedule, to be honest. Again, the reason I gave it an A- because there's a few fights that, like the David Lemieux and fucking Selecki. We don't want to see these guys, like, especially we don't want to see those guys against the quality guys they fighting, man. So they get an A- from me, but I'm excited. I'm excited. I really, really, really am excited about this sport. The direction of the sport, not necessarily, the politics of the sport. Now that I don't fuck with, but I do fuck with how the direction of where we're going, where we're getting good fights, and we have stuff to get excited about. We do. There's at least 3 or 4 fights where you can circle the day on your calendar. Like, you're not gonna tell me you're not gonna circle that Jermall Charlo versus Brian Castano fight on that day on your calendar. You're just not. If you're a real boxing fan. Now, if you were just a casual and you don't know boxing like that, I get it. I could get why you not gonna get super excited for that fight. But me, you talking to Broadway Joel? Oh, I'm getting excited for that fight. And then on top of that, you got Boots Ennis on the undercard. Oh my God. Oh man, I'm excited, man. I'm really, really am. Like there's a lot of good fucking fights, man. A lot of good fights coming up. And yeah. But guys, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. So if you guys want to call in and share your excitement with me, or call me out saying I'm excited for no reason and the schedule is trash, whatever you want to do, all you got to do is click that link at the top of the chat. It'll pop up on my screen and I'll have you on and we can have a conversation, whichever way you want to go. Whether you want to agree with me or you want to disagree with me, again, click that link. I'm with all the smoke. I'm hoping Marinez would continue to have a solid career, but after Comey, it just felt like his stock dropped drastically. I haven't heard from him since. I mean, he did get knocked out, and I hope he learned his lesson, because I don't think he should have fought Comey, a puncher like that. I felt like he should have been a little bit more, boxed a little bit more, do what, like, that's kind of like I felt like who he was as a fighter. I remember seeing him against Rolly. He ain't fight like how he fought Comey. That was weird. It was weird to me. And I felt he beat Rolly, by the way. But Marinez, I do want to see more from him. One loss doesn't define a fighter. What defines a fighter is what you do after the loss. You know what I'm saying? You take a L and then you fucking go home and with a tail tucked between your legs. Then yeah, that's who you were. That's who you was as a man. But when you a man and you take a loss, that's when you prove it. If you a man and you take a loss, that's when you're supposed to prove you a man. You're supposed to come back and show you that I got that fucking dog in me. That one loss ain't do shit. And that's why I respect Jason Rosario, somebody who's took a loss and then ended up becoming lineal 154 champion. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jason Rosario. Yo, Broadway, what do you think of Blair Cobbs does at with? I'm sorry. Let me take a drink of water. A lot of times when I speaking too much, especially now, I'm like amped up. My fucking mouth gets dry. I can't. Sounds like I can't read. Yo, Broadway, what do you think Blair Cobb does at welterweight? Do you see him beating a Maurice Hooker? I do see him beating a Maurice Hooker, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Blair Cobb's, not because oh my god, I think he's going to be the next superstar. I think he's going to be pound for pound. But I do think he's a character. I do think he's bringing something unique to the table in terms of promoting himself, in terms of showing who he is as a person. I would like to see more, and I'm wishing him success in boxing. I'm a fan of him. A lot of people don't like his wrestling type of promoting, but I like it. I like it. He's trying to get engaged with people. He's trying to get creative. He's kind of like if you mixed Keith Thurman with, I'm trying to think who else is a character. I can't think of, but he reminds me a little bit of like a Keith Thurman, like that kind of always talking shit and stuff like that. But guys, I got a caller. Some of you guys are familiar with him. He's over here talking in the chat. My man, Box Talk 101. Freddie, what's up, my guy? How you doing, my brother?
What's up, bro? I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing much better now that I'm speaking with you.
I know I felt like you needed somebody to go back and forth with. But hey, I like the Showtime schedule too, dude, to be honest with you.
Yo, bro, and you know me, I'm always ready to pounce on anybody who does anything bad for boxing.
I know.
And I can't pounce on Showtime. Hey, man, Showtime's good with me. I'm keeping my subscription. I'm encourage everybody to keep their subscription. The lineup they gave for boxing is pretty good. I gave it an A-.
I saw some people complaining online, and I think I understand that they want more, right? But I'm like, okay, well, you have to compare it to what we're getting modern day, and it's like, dude, to be honest, they have a better schedule than DAZN, in my opinion,
by far,
than Top Rank, than like they have the best schedule. Period. I know it's not what the fans want because we want like the Charlo Munguias, and instead we're getting like the Charlo Suleckis. So I understand that. But it's still better than what anybody else is putting out.
No, but also for the people who feel that way, I don't agree. I don't agree. Those are pessimists. Those are people focusing on the fights they don't get. Focus on the fights you are getting. You're not gonna, if you're a real boxing fan, and I know you are. I'm not. So when I'm saying this, I'm not speaking to you.
No, I hear
you're a real boxing fan and you're not excited for Charlo Castaño, undisputed. After the first fight was super entertaining, you're a fucking idiot. If you saw the first fight and you're not excited for the second fight and it's for undisputed, you're a fucking idiot.
Because, I get what you're saying.
And they got Boots Ennis fighting an undefeated fighter for IBF Eliminator.
Mm-hmm.
How are you not excited for that? At least that card. You could complain about everything else. That card is complaint proof. Yep. There is no complaining when you talk about that card.
And I'll give you an example to kind of like because I agree with what you're saying. It's like me, for example, I'm not a fan of Canelo, right? Mm-hmm. And I could sit here and I could complain all day about, Canelo's not fighting Charlo and Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. But the Canelo Bivol fight, that's a hell of a competitive. That's probably the hardest fight. You know what I mean?
That's my point. So and if Canelo would have fought Lemieux or Selecki,
oh yeah, hell no.
You get what I'm saying? Like it would have been World War III. And he's not even getting the sad shit is he's not even getting credit for fighting Bivol. Some people out there they still talking shit. Like if Canelo's fighting a bum. Yeah, no, that's the hardest fight, I think. Like that's on the table right now. I think the hardest fight period is probably Beterbiev, but he's not on the table, He's not. It was never an option. Yeah, no. Top Rank, they don't got the bag like that. They the only person they really paying like that is Tyson Fury. Everybody else is getting paid pretty, like maximum 1 or 2, 3. I know Oscar Valdez and Shakur, they're getting I think 2 or 3 million. So
that's good for them.
Yeah, that's good for them. So they are starting to pay these guys, but other than that, there ain't nobody over there really getting the bag like that. Besides Tyson Fury, though.
I feel like they're being hella stingy though, bro, because I know they have the money. Look, Top Rank has been around for how long now?
50 years at least.
And then they obviously they have a deal in place with. I was wondering that once the money came out for once the details came out for Fury versus White, right?
Yeah.
Because that was like a huge deal, and I was like, who's gonna pay for that? Like, there's no like that's not worth that, right?
But Frank Warren was the one who bid.
But he bid in from what I understand, it was like a group bid because ESPN and Top Rank were also so ESPN and Top Rank, they got a deal going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so Top Rank had to like I guess they like went in on a bid together, Frank Warren and Top Rank. And Top Rank has ESPN behind them, and that's owned by Disney. So I'm like, oh, they have hella money. Like I didn't think about it like that, but they have hella money behind them.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like ESPN is not as invested in boxing because, to be honest, Top Rank hasn't produced enough money for ESPN. Because if you look at what UFC is doing for ESPN with selling $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, pretty much they average between 500,000 and 600,000 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Fucking what's Top Rank giving ESPN? What they gave him 130 for Porter Crawford, and then the fight with Wilder, it was a like two networks, and the fight sold well, but it sold well like considering like if it was just one network as opposed to two, now you splitting everything. That I don't feel like ESPN is gonna slowly get out the boxing business. They're not making enough money out of this.
I feel like with the Tyson Fury, they're willing to like, okay, well, we'll pay him that. We'll invest the money in him, but not anybody else. Like they don't really care about anybody else, it seems like.
I mean, they haven't developed anybody else. And this is a conversation I had on Twitter. I used to say that Top Rank produces the biggest fighters. You know, they know how to promote, they do this. But if you look at it, since they left HBO, what stars have they produced?
Yeah, I think they're very good at like picking guys up out of the amateurs and building them up from like scratch. But once they start getting up there, I don't know, they're not the best.
Yeah, because they had Oscar, they had Pacquiao, they had Floyd. They had some big guys, and it's like, okay, you have all these big guys, but they all ended up leaving you and making more money elsewhere. And when they were with you, they were selling less pay-per-views. Like, look at Floyd when he was with them. And then look who Floyd became. The guy, Bob Arum had the guy who's ended up selling the most pay-per-views of all time, and it wasn't with him. And it was almost immediately after leaving him.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
The Top Rank was getting a lot of credit that HBO deserved.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. HBO was the shit back then.
I feel like it was like HBO and Showtime, and like those are always like the two. And now with HBO out of the picture, it's like fuck. Well, it's like yeah, Showtime's good, but like fuck, bro, you miss HBO. You know, I miss HBO.
And listen, every fan misses HBO. They gave us quality. They gave us those legendary fights, like those like that documentary, Legendary Nights. That's what it was called. Those documentaries. They gave us 24/7. They were the ones who first started that.
Yeah.
It was just, it's too iconic. Listen, if I ever become a billionaire, I'm buying HBO and I'm bringing that shit back. And the good thing about HBO too is that they will allow promoters to work with each other. They didn't have no exclusive contract with promoters.
Yeah.
That's what's messing up the sport. If you wanted to become a promoter right now, the route for you to becoming a promoter and being successful and having TV dates is you working with Top Rank, you working with Eddie Hearn, or you working with Al Heyman. There's no way around of getting dates. Back then, if you were working, if you were a promoter and you had a fighter, you just called up HBO and you made a deal with them directly. Now you have to do a deal with the guy who has the deal with the network. It's messing that part of the sport is where.
Can you give me a second?
Woo, Rolly. Tell him come on. Tell him to come on.
Well, I gotta mute this real quick.
All right, mute it. He got Rolly. He got Rolly on the phone right now, and Rolly has because he's good friends with Rolly. Hopefully he could get him on the show. Yeah, so he has a big fight coming up with Tank Davis. I would love to have him on the show, so maybe he could possibly answer some questions that I have. That would be dope. That would be spontaneous. The guy I text, he never responded. So this would be dope. This would be a dope consolation if I can't get my guy. Hold on. He actually did text me back. He said he can't do it. But all right. But anyways, while he's on the phone, let's see what the comments that Steven Espinosa had to say regarding Munguia and Charlo not happening. Let me screen share this real quick with you guys. Boom. So Steven Espinosa, I have no doubt Munguia wanted Charlo to fight. His promoter requested we bring another platform, which is kind of what I've been talking about before. This is a fight we want. Fans, this my man Jake Donovan wrote this. Shout out to Jake Donovan, been on my show twice. Look, this is the quote from Steven Espinosa. I have no doubt Munguia wants that fight. Steven Espinosa, president of sports.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna unmute this for a second. I asked Rolly if he wanted to say anything to the live. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, what's up? You want to say anything?
Can you hear him, bro?
Hey, I just want to say like this. I'm going to fuck Gervonta Davis up, and I'm actually his biological father, and no Vaseline. Yeah.
What round?
No Vaseline. We don't need rounds.
That's what's up, man. I would love to have you on my show one day, man. I don't know if if your man Freddie can make it happen.
No Vaseline.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna hit you up later. All right. I'll talk to you later. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude crazy, man. Yo, you think he'll ever do my show, or is he like focused in
Probably,
right now?
bro. But I never asked him. Like, if you notice I don't know if you notice on my channel too. Like, I rarely. Well, first of all, maybe it's because I don't really do lives on my own channel like too much. I'm trying to start to do it a little more.
Yeah, that's what the subscribers like, man.
Yeah, so I feel like I got to get into the rhythm of doing that, but I still haven't even asked him to be on mine. You know what I mean? But I would like to eventually. I feel like I got to get comfortable.
Have him do yours first a couple times, and then if he likes the being on live and shit, time have come on my show.
Yeah, because I don't think he's done one. Like, I've never seen him go on anybody's lives, so I'm like, maybe if he's willing to do it for me, and he kind of like
have him do it with you because he's already comfortable with you. Have him do it with you. And then whatever he says or doesn't say, maybe you can talk to him afterwards. Like, yo, when you go on other platforms, don't do this, don't do that, you know. And then once he's a little seasoned, he'll come on my platform. I would love to have him on. I have a lot of questions to ask him. A lot.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Yeah. No, but let's stay on topic since we already talking about.
My bad, bro. My bad.
No. I'm saying let's stay on topic with Rolly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So how do you see that fight playing out with Tank and Rolly? Since you to be fair, to let the listeners or people who are watching, you're a friend of Rolly, but I like to think that you're unbiased. What do you think of the fight in terms of how it plays out and how competitive it is?
I like to think that I'm unbiased too, but I have to be a little biased because obviously he's my friend. And I was talking to somebody in the chat.
As you wear Rolly Romero.
Yeah, obviously. And I was talking to somebody here in the chat earlier where he's like, oh, well, your boy's going to get knocked out. And I'm like, hey, bro, like, it's fine. I don't expect you to think that Rolly can beat Gervonta because all you have to judge Rolly off of is what you've seen on TV. But I've been in the gym with the guy and I see what he does consistently in sparring and in training. And I'm like, okay, I have reason to believe that he can beat Gervonta, but I don't expect you to have that reason.
Okay. How does he fare against Southpaws?
Trying to think of who the last Southpaw is that he sparred. I don't remember, bro. I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh, that's not a good look, man. If you can't remember the last time he sparred a Southpaw, and he's about to face probably the best Southpaw in his division.
But Rolly's been working on his own Southpaw too. So.
Oh, he's been switching. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, bro.
Any truth to the rumor? And I'm starting this rumor. I never heard this rumor. I'm just starting this rumor. Any truth to the rumor he's going to be sparring Hector Luis Garcia, who's a southpaw who fights at 130 and is pretty much the same height as? Well, no, he's a little taller than Tank.
Maybe he will. Maybe he already did.
No. Okay. All right. I'm interested in the fight. I do like that the fact that Rolly is a trash talker is somebody. Although he didn't come across good at the first press conference, hopefully at this press conference he can maybe learn from that and maybe get into Tank's head a little bit and see. I want to see how Tank handles somebody who's trash talking him, especially now that Rolly has a little bit more experience.
Yeah,
in terms of being in the camera and being asked questions and the cameras and the lights and all that. Yeah.
Well, what I like about it too, about the fight itself, anyways, is just like obviously I want my friend to win, right? Mm-hmm. But I like that Rolly's coming with that killer be killed energy, and I think the fans as a whole, whether you like Rolly as an opponent or not, you're gonna want to watch that fight. It's like the most guaranteed fight to end in a knockout, I think. Anyways,
no, I don't think that fight goes 12 at all. And I'm gonna be at that fight in Brooklyn. It's in Brooklyn, man. You think I'm gonna not beat it?
I'm going, bro. That's gonna be my first time in New York.
Yeah, it's your first time.
Well, I'm gonna go with Rolly, obviously. So yeah.
No. No, I'm saying it's your first time going to New York. If you want to link up, let me know, man. Whatever you're trying to do, I'll take you around the city.
How far is the arena from like where you stay at?
I'm about like a 20-30 minute drive.
That's not bad.
Honestly, traffic is very temperamental here in New York.
Yeah.
So I don't know when I would be heading there, but I'm not too far. It might be less. Let me check right now on the GPS what it says.
Yeah, I was looking at flights already, and my girl was like, "Oh, why don't you rent a car once you're there?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what traffic's like in New York. Like, I expect it to be horrible. Like, maybe I'll just Uber."
Yeah, I'm 28 minutes from the Barclays Center. 28-minute drive. But right now, traffic is, there's not that much traffic. But you definitely, if this is your first time in New York, especially if you're staying in Manhattan, which I'm assuming you are, bro. You do not.
I don't want to drive in New York. I don't.
No, you don't. I agree with you. You don't. No, and the train gets you around a lot, but as of late, the trains haven't been as safe. So just take the Uber. It may be a little bit expensive, but if you value safety, like if you're like a very like, no, I want to be safe, don't take the train. But if you're like, whatever, like, because for the trains, for the most part, everything will be okay as long as you don't, get nobody's business. But sometimes there's crazy people on the trains. Like people have been getting stabbed and fucking sliced on the train and shit.
No, I think if I have to get anywhere just to be where Rolly's at, I might just have to take an Uber like once. But I know usually they'll have like a big whatever luxury SUV or whatever pick us up from the airport, and like they'll usually take care of everything,
Yeah. And honestly, I think they're gonna put you in a hotel in Brooklyn, like the good part of Brooklyn. Don't get nervous. So yeah, they're gonna put you in a hotel in Brooklyn, and again, there's mad shit to do around that area, and even if like you take a 10-minute drive, 15-minute drive, you can get to even more spots. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna have fun. Well, I don't know how long are you gonna be here. You just gonna come like the day before or something?
Probably just probably a few days, maybe on a Wednesday or something. I don't know.
Hit my phone, man. If you're trying to link up, trying to do something, I'll take you around. You can eat New York pizza because I know y'all eating that trash out there. You don't know what's a good pizza.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. New York is Chicago.
No, I've been to Chicago. It's New York, bro. It's
New York.
It's New York. I mean, fucking.
Somebody said
that's good part of Brooklyn.
He said the good part of Brooklyn.
There's good parts in Brooklyn, bro. There's the north side of Williamsburg, not the south side of Williamsburg. The north side of Williamsburg is very safe. Park Slope, which is where the Barclays Center is very safe. Downtown Brooklyn is very safe. Yo, come on, stop talking bad about my borough. Come on, HLD, don't do that. Don't do that. There's good parts in Brooklyn. But yeah, like if you telling me, yo, I'm gonna pass by East New York or Brownsville, I would be like, yeah, I'm not going to visit you. I'm from East New York, so I would be good there. Like that's my hood. So, but Brownsville, I'm good on that shit. I'm good.
What I'm trying to look at the schedule. I can't find it. The Showtime schedule. I was trying to see what else there was.
For the Showtime schedule?
Yeah. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. Which fight you thinking of?
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to look at the schedule as a whole because I'm like, obviously, I'm invested in the Rolly Gervonta, but I'm like, what else is there?
Hold on. I'm gonna DM it to you on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm gonna DM it to you on Twitter. There's an article of that on Boxing Scene, and where they lay it out and shit, including the undercards. But
I like the Spence Ugas, but I know like I'm not going to that one. I think in May I'm gonna be kind of busy. I'm going to my first Canelo fight for that Bivol one. I said,
I wish, bro. I really wish I could go to a Canelo fight. So you're gonna go see Canelo, your favorite fighter, knock out the number 2 rank light heavyweight for a belt? Damn, man, you a lucky guy, man. You get to see your favorite fighter live, man. I like that, man. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Yeah, I don't know about my favorite fighter. My favorite one to hate on, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't see. Well, you know what it is? I do see why you hold him up to such a higher standard than you do the whole rest of boxing. It's because he's number 1 pound for pound. And when you're number 1 pound for pound, you're going to get held to, like, it's kind of like when Floyd Mayweather was number 1 pound for pound. Everybody was calling him a ducker when he was fighting Cotto and Mosley and Marquez and De La Hoya and
the Robert Guerreros.
Robert Guerrero. Victor Ortiz had a belt, so I'm not going to say that, like that was such a big win, but he was coming off his biggest win in Andre Berto. Yeah, but like, Mayweather was beating the toughest guys and he wasn't getting the credit. And it wasn't until he retired where I feel like as a consensus, people really like, all right, yeah, no, he was great, but I like to live in the moment. And right now, living in the moment, Canelo's my number 1 pound for pound, man.
But see, same thing. I like to live in the moment too. And like living in the moment, I look at like, for example, like I'll use Floyd as an example. We can look at all those other welterweights and like the Cottos and the Marquezes and everybody. And I think anyways, Floyd clearly has the best resume, right? And I could say that today too about Canelo.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to say he doesn't, but go ahead.
No. He has the best resume out of anybody else we're comparing him to, like the Benavidez's and
Charlo, Andrade,
all those guys, right?
Yeah.
Canelo has the best resume. But I think I understand the frustration sometimes with other people with Floyd. Like I think at one point they were like, oh, well, fight Margarito. And he fought everybody but Margarito. But like he still has a better resume than Margarito or anybody else, right? And same thing with Canelo. Like I understand, like I want him to fight Benavidez, right? That's the fight that I want. But by no means am I going to sit here and say he has a better resume than Benavidez.
No, but I understand that. But my thing is that like, who the fuck is David Benavidez beat? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I understand. I want to see that fight too. But when people say, "Oh, he's ducking Benavidez," who the fuck has David Benavidez beat to make me think that Canelo's ducking him? That makes no sense to me.
Well, I think it's just the fact that he is, I think, the last guy at 168 that's really worth anything, right? That anybody gives a shit about at 168 right now where you can even mention him. Like David Morrell's a great fighter, but you can't say, oh, David Morrell should fight Canelo. Like, no, nobody's going to say that. Not right now.
He's not there yet. He's not there.
But you can make the case for Benavidez. And I don't know, like, okay, Floyd, for example. Floyd was the guy in power. He could fight whoever he wants, and nobody's going to say no. Canelo has that same power, same authority. He decides who he wants to fight. So that's when, like, okay, then when we don't get the fights that we want to see, that's where the frustration comes out. Because we're like, hey, dude, you're in charge. You can make it happen.
Yeah,
if you
no,
want.
the thing is, we would get those fights if maybe David Benavidez wasn't sniffing fucking onion bowls. You know, David Benavidez has nobody to blame but himself. He has to look in the mirror and go, I didn't make weight and lost my belt. I sniffed coke and lost my belt. That's why I don't have a Canelo fight. So when people want to talk shit to Canelo, David Benavidez, let's hold that man accountable. When people want to say we want to see the Charlo fight, and I agree, that's the fight I wanted. I thought he should have won the PBC deal, by the way, for the record.
Yeah, me too.
I just look at Charlo and I go, bro, had you fought Andrade, had you fought Triple G, had you fought all these other fighters and earned and showed your worth, the fight would have created more buzz. You would have been a more popular fighter because you beat these guys. You would have had belts. You would have been unified. And you can say, okay, who has Bivol beat? But at the same time, Bivol beat Joe Smith and Jean Pascal. That's better than anybody on the resume of Andrade, Benavidez, and Charlo combined. Just those 2 wins. So it's like, my man, I need you to chill with. Now, I'm not saying you. Well, maybe you. Like, my man, I need you to chill with this whole Canelo ducking situation. Are they ducking each other? I don't know. Why don't we focus on that bowl of soup when this guy just went undisputed in less than a year and broke a guy's face in the process?
Well, I think with Bivol, what he has is like, in Canelo's case, why are you fighting this guy? Well, he's a champion. He's in a higher weight class, so you can't say I'm bullying or ducking or anything like that because I'm actually moving up. You know, it is a challenge, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. When you move up in weight, you're taking a risk. And you're fighting a guy who's undefeated. He's beat everybody in front of him. He's a champion, and he's in a weight class above me. You can't say that for Benavidez because obviously he doesn't have a belt. He's undefeated, yes, but he doesn't have a belt. But he's also in the same weight class, so that's where it's like that kind of helps him. But Charlo hasn't even had a fight at 168, so I think that's the first hurdle he needs to take. Is like, yo, first things first. Why don't you move into 168?
Caleb Plant.
Yeah, like Caleb Plant. Move up to 168. Fight somebody. Fight somebody. And just, okay, now I'm a 168 pounder. You know, now I'm a super middleweight. Now I'm in your division. And because I was the WBC champion, I would assume now I'm the mandatory for.
No. That's the WBO that does it like that.
Oh,
WBC don't do it like that.
Well,
but he will be ranked. If he moves up to 168 and beats, let's say, a Caleb Plant, which wouldn't be an easy fight, he would be ranked in the He would be ranked in multiple sanctioning bodies, but especially the WBC, considering he moved up from 160.
Yeah,
I just want us to keep that same energy. If we keep in that same energy with Canelo and saying, "Yo, damn, we want to see you fight this guy, we want to see you fight that guy," let's keep that same energy with Charlo and Benavidez and Boo Boo. Like, everybody. Yo, bro. Like, the fans need to put a fire under people's asses and you know, and make these fights happen.
Yeah, I think but yeah, that's why in my opinion, I say anyways, like, I think Charlo and Boo Boo are the furthest from obtaining from getting that Canelo fight. Like, you guys want to make a case, you guys are like way down the line in my opinion, because you're not even in the weight class, bro. And like, Canelo's not moving back down to 160. Y'all tripping. Like, you got to move up. You got to move up now if that's what you want to pursue. If not, just give up. Just don't even bother.
Nah, real shit. But all right, man, I'm about to hop off. Yo, I appreciate you hopping on and giving me your time. Hopefully, I can set up that. You can help me set up that Rolly interview before his fight with Tank. That would be dope, man. That way, you know, get promotion for the fight coming up.
Yeah.
I definitely like the fact that you got him on kind of spontaneous like that. That was a dope moment.
I didn't know he was going to call me. Hey, I just got done training. What are you doing? I was like, well, I'm kind of on the live. Like, you want to say hi to the live? And I don't know if he knew that it was my live or not. Like, if he thought it was mine or somebody else's. But I was like, you want to say hi? Like, I got it muted. I could unmute it. He's like, yeah, fuck it, unmute it. I'm like, oh my God, let's see what this guy's going to say.
No Vaseline.
You always got to be careful with him, man. Like, I never know what he's going to say. And I'm like, dude, just please watch your mouth.
Hey, man, listen, man. This, you know, it's YouTube. This isn't ESPN. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You know, obviously, the only thing I don't want is people incriminating themselves, in anything, which
Yeah.
I don't see why he would do that on my live if I'm only asking boxing questions, man.
Yeah.
I would love to have him on, ask him about what he thinks of the fight. Why is he so confident? Does he have something personal against Tank? Who has he been sparring? Ask him about. You just gave me a little tidbit saying he's switching Southpaw, switching Orthodox. There's a lot of questions I could ask him just right now, just off the top of my head, let alone me getting time and doing research and listening to his interviews and asking him follow-up questions off the interviews he's done already. I'm excited. I'm looking forward for when he's on your live, and I'm definitely gonna hop on if he's on your live and you put the link up. I love it, man. I appreciate you coming on, though. I really do, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Joe. I always like coming on here anytime you'll have me on, bro.
Nah, for sure. But all right, my man. See you.
Peace out, bro.
Peace. All right, guys. Thank you guys for showing up to the live and showing me all your support. Again, if y'all know I'm always trying to bring y'all good content. I'm always trying to keep you guys entertained. I'm having a baby. It's on the way. It's a huge baby. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. But just know I always got you guys in mind, man. And I'm always trying my best. And I'm like, damn, I got to keep them. I got to keep my guys fed, and even if I can't make a lot of videos and drop videos and edit them and do all that, at least now I've been dropping interviews. I got you guys an interview with Michael Fox. I got you guys an interview with Michelle Rivera, an interview with Hector Luis Garcia. And again, like I said, you guys got to be a little bit more patient. I got a lot of good interviews lined up that are going to come, and a lot of them are going to surprise you when I have them on my channel. And look, just off talking, look, I might have Rolly. I'm not saying I am, but I have a relationship with one of Rolly's friends, and he's saying how, hey, he may come on my channel and give me an interview. He's gonna see after he does a couple lives on his channel, maybe he comes on mine. I would love it. But all right, guys, till next time, peace.